usually when we do these talks, and see what comes out of my mouth, often there's a thing about aren't the energies so strong at the moment, and often how the energies are knocking us about and making us sick or making us feel depressed. The energies are so strong and da, 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 da. Well, I'm here to announce today, I don't know about you guys, but I, for once, I'm finding the energies great. I'm really enjoying the energies at the moment, which is, I think that's a first. I think that's a first that I've ever said that in all these 17 years I've been doing it. Happy to announce the energies are good. And, we're always being told these strong energies are coming in and the light, a higher intensity of light is coming in. But I reckon what is happening now also is that we are allowing ourselves to be so much more of our light that we're able to merge more easily with these energies coming in, and instead of them going and knocking us about, we're able to actually step into them and allow ourselves to feel this lightness. Are there people that are really, you don't have to put your hands up, you can if you like. And I go, oh, you! Are there people that are not feeling that? Are there people still feeling heavy energies? You're all feeling, that's excellent. That's really good that we're all feeling so light. And I think the thing is as well, a little thing for me, we just found out we got to move house after 9 years, and I love my house and all that. And I had 10 minutes of far out. And then I was like, right. And it's like I'm having this game with myself, this experiment of not having one doubting moment about the perfect house turning up for us in the perfect time, because there's a lot involved with all that and it needs to be done. And again, I think I'm being helped by these energies at the moment, because I know that it's like it's time. I know so. My sister, that same day, got a call to say they've got to get out of their rented accommodation as well. It's like so many people are shifting. They're up and they're moving to where they need to be. They're either up and literally going back overseas to, far wild places, or they're just moving out of their accommodation to somewhere where they're going to be. And I feel, could be wrong, I feel that it's because we need now, for this time onwards, to be settled, really settled in where we are to anchor our light. And I think we are all, I know we're always saying when you look back, 10 years ago, how different are you? Well, yes, we are. We've got different hair, we got, grey or white or whatever, all these different things, put on a few pounds, etc. But inside of us, how different we really are. And I think now we are so strong and so full of light, and in that knowing of who we are, instead of that doubting of who we are, that where we're going to be and settle is exactly where our light needs to be anchored. And I think wherever you walk, shopping centre, wherever you're going, it's like with every step, you're anchoring in this light that is coming in, and we are here to bring it in and serve it and to keep it within Mother Earth and allow Mother Earth to then settle also with this energy, because it is Mother Earth that we came here to help ascend. Now that is a huge job, never been done before. We've had the fall, the rise and fall of Lemuria, of Atlantis, of different times when we brought in our light and we used our gifts so fully. And then we got a bit carried away with it all. And the ego stepped in, and this, that, and the other, and one thing led to another. I don't know a great deal about it. But it then fell, and everything had to be rebuilt, more or less from scratch again. Whereas apparently this time, that's not happening. all the darkness, all the seediness of what is going on our planet is to fall away. But for the first time ever, we are lifting her up, Mother Earth up into this higher dimension. And, when you think of that, you could visualize this vast globe, and all of us underneath it going, clearly it's not up. This is the thing we say, when I say up above, the light from above. Well, not particularly, really. Light is just everywhere. So really, I think when we're talking about bringing us into another dimension, into a higher dimension of light, it literally is just like, I suppose, like we feel. We feel lighter and we feel more of who we are. So I guess that's just exactly what will be happening to Mother Earth, and that the darkness truly is at the end of its days, because as we move into that higher dimension, the darkness simply can't come. I remember long, long time ago reading an amazing book. I think it was called Through the Veil or Beyond the Veil or something, and it was a story of a chap who'd passed on, and it was, way before its time, and he came back to channel to somebody what it was like on the other side. And, and it's funny because everybody has different stories of what it's like on the other side when they come back, which I suppose if somebody said to you, what's it like on Earth, your story might be very different from yours. We all have our own individual journeys. But there was a thing of a particular soul that literally, say for instance, went through this field, and then there was a sort of hillock, and over the hill this soul was looking at this beautiful place of all these beings being so, having a wonderful time and full of light, and so wanted to go there, but was told you cannot go there yet because I presume at the time, and the word, I don't think the word was, your vibration isn't suitable yet for it. That literally I think the go was that they tried and literally got, pushed back because they cannot reside in a vibration that they are not of. And so I would imagine that is what is going to happen as we lift. And there's going to be, they say there is going to be no war in this new world, no hunger, the perfect light, love world that we're all here to bring in. It can't have any of these human atrocities, etc., going on. It can't be within that higher vibration. And so I'm just finding that just being me, who I am at the minute, is just, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And that is, I would never before, I never said I love being me, but I do, because I found a place within myself where after years of practice, after years of going through all this shit, that you know what works in the end. And so you think, why, okay, so I might have a down day, but what's the point? Truly, what's the point when I know sometimes you need to sit in that depression sometimes. I'm not saying that. But that with thought, positive thing, it can just turn you round. Go to the sea, look where we live, breathe in the air, makes you feel better. We are so blessed to live where we live. So therefore, I think we can do triple the work for others who are not so fortunate, others who are in slums or this, that, and the other. We can do that work for them because, it was fantastic for me when I found out that whatever I do enjoy, I'm doing for myself, but for everybody. That I am making somebody in India somewhere joyous because I am being joy, and we are all that one energy. There's a wonderful thing. I can't remember. I don't know if it was a chap called Matt Kahn who brought this teaching through. Of when you're drinking water, drink it for everybody. When you're lying in your comfortable bed, lie there for people who sleep on cardboard. Everything. When you clean your teeth with fresh water and a brush, do it for everybody. When you eat, eat for people who can't eat. And that, I just think, as a knowing of truth, makes you feel like you are serving with everything that you do. It's all very well, isn't it, to say, you know, oh, look, I'm going to go and do Meals on Wheels, which is a fantastic service, and to be of service. But in actual fact, anything that we do, if we look at it like that, we can be of service 24/7. And to be joy. To me, that is the best thing, is to be able to be really high as and have a great time, knowing that that is the way to serve the rest of the world in the best way that we can. I think that is wonderful. I was walking along the beach the other day, and I always say to people, if something's bothering them, will this matter on your deathbed? And I often have that. If I've got a bit of a funny thing going, I think, will this matter on my deathbed? Inevitably, no. Nothing ever will. It just is not that important to matter on my deathbed. And as I was walking along, I thought, okay, fair enough, I've always said that. Yet, what will matter on my deathbed? If I'm lying there on my deathbed, what will be mattering to me? And for me personally, when I started to think about it, it was, I won't be able to walk in this ocean. I won't be able to feel the sand under my feet. I won't be able to feel the sun on my body. I won't be able to physically hug my loved ones. I won't be able to hear the breeze in the trees. I remember White Cloud, the breeze in the trees. I remember White Cloud many years ago. There was a group of some people are here today that were part of that group. And I knew as soon as we got to the place where we were having the meeting that he wanted to be outside. So I was like, oh, okay, and I knew this great big tree that we had to anchor. I had to stand right next to this big tree to have the energy to anchor him. As this was like a cord there outside. And when he came through, we all, he had his little entourage of women. It was most odd, most odd. There's me in here as Blossom, the White Cloud in here, and I knew he wanted to walk, and I thought, oh dear. So we're walking along as White Cloud with these sort of trail of women, with all respect, behind, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? What? What is all this going on? But the fact is that tears flowed from my eyes, from the love that came from him. And he said, it's so beautiful to be able to feel the wind in his hair once again. Well, we just take the smallest of things for granted. And those were all the things I thought about. Whereas instead, I thought I'd be thinking, well, I hope I've been a good, kind person. You know, well, it wasn't about that at all. It was about what will matter. It would matter the things that I won't be able to do again on this planet. And I think that's a really good point to make us more aware. And not that we do take things for granted, I certainly don't, but to go to that next level of how blessed we are to have this, how blessed we are to have that, to hear music in this form, etc., etc. There's so much that if it was taken away from us, we would miss it greatly. So to be more, to be more grateful, I think, for actually being in the human form, which surprised me because so many times in my life I'm like, beam me up, Scotty, would you? I just, had enough type thing. And really, what is this human life all about? It's crazy, it's mad. But now that we're stepping more deeply into our truth and understanding more and more what our truth actually is, and when you're feeling good, it's like, that thing, it's great to be alive, just great to be alive. And the more we can exude that energy, the quicker all the darkness will drop away, and that we will come more and more into ourselves. And I do think it is a personal journey. There's some groups of people, who knows, everything is possible, so everything is a truth, go figure that one out. And don't say but, it's a bit of a negative, that the people who aren't quite ready to accept who they are and where we're going, etc., absolutely fine. Some people, I think that it's going to be en masse, that we go, whoosh, and we all sort of get in this elevator, out we go to the new world, out we get, oh yeah, lingerie, no, new world, oh yes, out we get, da, da, da. It's, I don't feel personally it's going to be, it's going to be like that. I think because it is an individual learning process, an individual discovery of self and one's truth that will take them to where they need to be. Because where you are in yourself, like I'm in a particularly good mood these days, my next door neighbour might not be. That's her journey, and yet we're right next door to each other. It is an internal journey of love and truth for the self that we are embarking upon. We've been on for a long time. I don't know about embarking. Time to get off, isn't it? So on that note, I'm not going to, as you know, I don't stay babbling for too long these days anymore on this. Is there anything that anybody would like to ask about? That in particular they, feel they would like as a little topic to talk about? Really? Hello. Yes. Anyone else? No, truly, for me, absolute yes. I have, it's quite interesting, isn't it, when you've sort of been in this, what would you say, environment for many, many years, how we just accept and take so much as natural to us. Whereas when you come across somebody else who says, do you think we go somewhere else when we die? I don't, but I'd like to go, duh? Of course, to me, but people are at their levels on their journey. And my father, I know a lot of people have passed, but my father, my mother, my stepfather, a lot of my family I know are around me. I can, you can sometimes just think of them and get a chill and think, oh, they're close. I think for me, it's just a breath away. You just take one breath and they can feel that thought of love. Yes, I see what you mean, but to me, I feel, they're not obviously going to hover around waiting for you to go, are you there, Mum? Are you there? Oh, yes, I'm here. I feel that they are there doing their thing elsewhere, serving in whichever way suits them, but obviously not in physical form. And then it is just a thought from a loved one, and they're instantly there. I think there are things, I think, there is a whole topic of when somebody loses a loved one and they literally the person on earth cannot get over the grief, that they, with all respect, they don't realize they're doing it, but the loved one doesn't want to leave them to go off and do their thing freely because they're so concerned about that. And I think that's a big breakthrough for many people who are so distraught at the loss, to realize that, to let yourself free and to let them free makes it's so freeing for both of them, if you see what I mean. And that's not to say, because people say, well, it's beyond, so everybody says that when you pass through, you see all your loved ones and your family. And they say, but are they in this form that you recognize them as? But I wouldn't imagine that, you might see their face etherically. I can't see that when I go over, I'm going to see my father and my mother and my stepfather all, hello. It's more of on an energetic level, I would say, that they are all there to greet you. And I think as well, there's a huge topic, that it all depends where you're at within yourself as to where you arrive when you leave this planet, and because it literally, you take your last breath here and you take a new breath somewhere else, type thing. But depending on what your beliefs are as to what you think goes on, there shall you be. I feel. There are a lot of, I've heard things before where people who are adamant that there is nothing else, then they go to this lovely sort of hospice, where they have to rest for a long time to accept that, oh, hello, there is something else. That I would say there are 1 billion trillion versions of where you arrive, in the same way that there are 1 billion trillion versions of each person's truth on earth. There is nothing set in stone. And I know from our, the channelings with the Federation of Light lately, talking about truth, and how literally, and it blows my head off. I can't understand it at all, but how, literally it can be like almost one thought to another can put you in another dimension. And and I was like, well, does everybody come and hop in that dimension with me that I'm in the room with at the time? It's so confusing, but I am beginning to somehow get a thread of the fact that if somebody knows that as their truth, that's the world they live in, even though they're still in Noosa and so am I. But my truth is very, very different. There is no thing that can't be a truth, because everything is possible. So what is true for one might not be for another, but it doesn't mean to say it's not the truth, because it is you that are creating your world within yourself, and therefore your truth is what feels right for you, and that's all you can go by, is if it feels right for you. And there is no right or wrong, I don't think. You can't say, well, look, it might feel right for you, but you're wrong. You can't, because if it's feeling right, if something feels right for me, I have to go with that, even though somebody they might be like, Blossom, I don't know if that's a good thing to do. I know inside of me whether or not it is or it isn't, because of the way that decision of mine makes me feel. And I do think that's such a, how can you ever get off that topic? Because, as to what the truth is. Because I do know now that every single thing is possible. Why wouldn't it be? Some things haven't even been thought of yet, but they're possible. Doesn't mean they're not possible, etc. So I think that's and also a respectful place to be with other people, accepting that their truth isn't yours, but that they're allowed. Who are we to be so righteous that, what we think is true, is absolutely the one and only? Not at all. I would say the one, because once I've asked this before, there has to be one overall truth. What is that? And for me is love, that everything, there is nothing, this is what they talk about all the time, everything is love. There is nothing else at all. It's just a vibration. Hate, anger is just a lower vibration, a different vibration of love itself, because there is nothing else. The pictures, energy. It's this love energy. Everything that exists ever and ever will is of love. And it's just tapping in. The more we come to know ourselves, how great it is to understand it more and more. Because you can feel that in the depths of your soul as you understand this self, how you understand the love within yourself and what it feels like. I just think, well, if it's just going to go on getting better and better and better, which it is, how glorious is it going to be as we keep on moving up and through? Yeah. I'm just sitting nearer because of my husband bought me this beautifully, quite expensive thing for Christmas, and it doesn't even have a zoom on it. So I have to be like, can you believe it? It does everything. It makes the tea in the morning, but it hasn't got a zoom on it. Anyway, there we go. Welcome back to part 2. there are quite a few new people here. In the beginning of book one, it does explain how I got into this and how it all came about. And I know for many people at the moment, they are waking up to themselves and being able to channel themselves. And many letters I get through are to do with how do I know that it's the light, etc., that I'm channeling and this, that, and the other. Well, intention, really, I would say, is the main word. Well, not really. Trust is a big biggie. Trust and intention. For me personally, I like to say a little prayer of protection. Not everybody does, because their truth is that they're always protected, and that's absolutely fine, but I just respectfully like to do that. And just, I'd say, to work with it, just to, if you feel like you want to write, then write. And if you think, oh, I don't know if that was me, well, probably it was you, but isn't it beautiful what you've just written? It's probably your higher self that, that was being able to bring it through. Or if in time you feel, like with White Cloud, I definitely feel, it was, especially when he's within and speaking, I can feel his energy as opposed to mine. When I'm working with the Federation of Light, which is purely telepathically on my computer, I can, it's like people say, oh, wow, that's amazing. Well, to me, I'm just having a conversation in my head. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it's like, hello, guys, are you there? And I don't hear, it's just telepathically. It's like, well, greetings, Blossom, and the words come through in that way. They can say a particular paragraph, and I'm overwhelmed with love suddenly, and I'm sitting there going, I can feel that without question. But it really is, I've been doing this 18 years now. So, and even now I'm sitting out there thinking, I hope you're about, mate, After all this time, there's still that trust. And I'm like, I hope you got something a bit different to say other than love, all this sort of stuff. I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. But it's just like, even now you have to trust, and you have to know in yourself that your intention of doing so is not for self as such, because that's where many well-known people went a bit up the swanny, because their ego took over, and then who knows what they were channeling, but under the guise that they were still channeling the good guys. But unfortunately, the feed also would come in of a lesser light, would we say, intertwined, which makes things very, very confusing. So it is very much, humility, remaining humble, knowing that what you're doing for anybody, even if it's just at home channeling for yourself, is for the greater good of all. And many people say, I need to do this, but what do I do with it? Well, I say to people, start a blog. Everybody else starts. Start a blog. It's so easy to set up. It doesn't cost you anything. Your writings are out there. And sometimes I also believe that it's just your energy of getting it out, be it by mouth or by art or by writing, whatever it is, just needs to be out. The energy of it needs to come out. It doesn't matter if one or nobody reads it. It just needs to come out to the world. So don't think, oh, I've only got 6 people who've ever read it on my blog. So what? 6 people really enjoyed that, but it's out there for everybody to pick up on that beautiful energy that you are channeling through. Because let's face it, we're all channelers. We're not, I'm no different from anybody else. We're all able to bring this higher self through, and some are able to, bring the energy of other beings through, type thing. So just to say that to people, to reassure people that don't ever think, oh, I'm not worthy enough, and oh, it's only just me. Don't, just go with it fully, because the more we can all tap into that, the better it is for one and all. Having said that, I just say as well, sometimes when I'm doing a channel, could be today, don't know, but I'm just saying today, just in case, it can be that another energy would like to come and join us also, other than White Cloud. White cloud is my gatekeeper, so there would never be anything untoward that would suddenly come in and bats start flying and all that. None of that goes on. But I never know who that's going to be. The only thing I would say is when that does happen sometimes, they can just literally be and not say a word. And I'm like, why bother? Why come all this way if you have nothing to say? But I'm realizing it's the energy that they just give to you. But I do like it if they can speak. But obviously, if they've never spoken before, then it can be quite difficult for them to suss all that out via me. And sometimes with that, I do get, when it's another energy, I can get an incredible pain in the back of my head. So they don't stay in too long, purely because I was going, get out, get out, that hurts. Oh, the joys, the joys. Okay, so everybody, it is now my great pleasure to bring through our dearly loved energy, Mr. White Cloud, who's very excited to be here. And please send your love to myself and to him as this takes place, so that we can all have a lovely time. Divine Spirit, we thank you for bringing us together this day. And we ask for a circle of protection around each one of us, so that we may be kept safe, warm and protected in your light and your love. We ask now for the highest good of all for White Cloud to draw close. And we ask too that this channeling is given with ease, truth and clarity to assist the souls of each one as we listen to the words and feel the love. In love and thanks. My friends, can you feel the peace in this room, in this moment? Listen to that silence. Listen to it. And allow your heart to connect with that peace within that space. Take a few breaths. And familiarize yourself with your home. Love deep within you. For this time you have chosen to experience love encased in a human body. You could have chosen to experience love as a flower on a mountaintop. And maybe you have many times before. And it is more than likely that you have experienced love in human form many, many times before. Each time you come, you choose. You choose how you design your every moment to be. Before you come, it is as if there is a council of wise elders, shall we say, that will discuss with you when, why, how, to whom, what purpose. All the things that will benefit your soul are discussed before you come in once again. You may feel that it is patience beyond patience that you desire to fulfill this time, because last time you had none. That might be one little jotting on your list. You might come back purely to finish off one reconciliation with one other being, to make things right with each other in human form. One. And you are prepared to come and live a lifetime in order to bond together once again with that particular soul. Therefore, the council would say, well, that is very well, but it might not be convenient for you to meet until you are in your 40s with that soul. So what are you going to do the rest of the time? Play cards? There are many people will say, I am here to such and such. That is my purpose. And yes, that is so. But why restrict yourselves? So much can be done by each one. Sometimes one may question why such a young soul may have suffered for the whole time they are here.
maybe only living till 1 or 2 of the years on earth, and suffering all that time. And then they take their leave. And one would say that is so unfair. Yet I would say that child wished so much to be of service to its parents. There was so much they came into this world to understand about themselves and allow their souls to grow and understand. And that baby, that soul came in and chose to take on that role for them in as through love. And then when its job was done, it returned to the light. And you could say what? And leave them devastated? Perhaps. But it is who they then grow into, or choose to grow into as a soul of love, having had that experience. My friends, I know it is hard to understand, but you are wise enough to know that all is not as it seems, all is not as it presents itself to be. Everything is a learning curve, really. It presents itself to you, and you learn as you grow how to accept these things that come your way. And for many of you, you have grown so much that there is no anger left inside of you. There is no hatred left inside of you. And yet it might have been that way, way back in time, you were a leader in a barbaric war. And you loved to hate. You loved to take a life of another because in that lifetime, that was what you believed was right and was your truth. And yet, as you grow and love and learn and release, that is within you no more. Blossom is aware as she thought that there is another energy here that would like to, Blossom is hoping, would like to speak with you for a short while. Do you know also, my friends, that other beings that come in, they can only do so, especially if they are new to this, if the energies from each one present are correct for that energy to do so. So already this energy coming through is giving gratitude and love to allow this to take place. And I know you will open your hearts for this communication to take place. Many thanks.
please acknowledge that we are unable to look directly at this beginning point into your souls via the windows due to our vibration not being quite fully blended with yours. We thank you for all that you do upon your planet. We watch and observe with great intensity for what takes place on your little planet is of such importance to all. And you, do you see why you are so important? Why you were chosen to be here? To allow this transformation to take place. Do you see that you are the ones directly anchoring the light? Something we from elsewhere cannot do. When you sit quietly, acknowledge who you are. Give thanks for this gift, this opportunity that you volunteered for and were chosen. Are you not very blessed? You would not have been chosen if you were not capable of making this transformation happen. You, little old me, as you call yourself sometimes. You, the vastness of you are exactly where you should be right now upon your earth, serving the light. How you are honored by so many. Please accept your status, for in doing so, that in itself, that acceptance of self, makes such a difference to that you are doing. And the power that then shines from within works its magic like never before, simply because you have chosen to acknowledge who you are. Daily give thanks for who you are. We love you.
Welcome once again. Blossom was saying to me, what is it? Why would it be, with all respect, that it could have been that I just stayed in and said those same words? And I am explaining to her that it is because of the difference in energy. I'm not saying the energy is higher or lower. I'm not speaking of that. I am speaking that it is simply different. It is, I am showing to Blossom as if it is, one is throwing little sparkly bits into the equation to merge with your souls this day. And those sparkly bits remain. And now, my friends, I am happy to answer questions if I am able to. As I always say, if I am not, I won't. So please, go into your heart. One thing you must not do is doubt that your question may not be worthy or not of any relevance to anybody. That cannot be, because if there is something that you desire to know, then somebody else somewhere will also be desiring to hear that same answer. Yes. That is a good question, because you can look at, shall we say, you could come across another this very afternoon whose behavior seems that there is no intention at all to be serving the light. You could look at the news and be made aware of certain atrocities, and you think, well, Clearly, they have not come here to serve the light. But as I said before, my friends, all is not as it seems. Because in one sense, though a soul that is behaving inappropriately, of a serious degree, we have spoken of this before. How do you know that like the young child I spoke of that served for that short time, how do you know that the soul that is choosing to behave badly is not doing so to help others find their light, to help others feel who they are and that they are brightening up more than they used to, because perhaps once they too behaved in that way. There are many atrocities that take place that one feels are of darkness, but I am saying they are serving the light. And that may be difficult to accept for some and difficult to understand. But in another aspect of itself, that darkness is serving the light, because darkness is a vibration, however, whatever level of love. It has to be, because there is nothing else. There are those, would I say, that when they come down and have been offered, shall we say, a particular role in this vast movie that we are all in this play, however you like to call it. It is often referred to as yourself playing a part, and you create the movie, etc. There are those who have agreed to come in and play a particular role in the limelight, if you like. And their gifts may seem to another to be way, way more advanced than a particular soul may feel they have. Those things are set in place, and that is agreed upon for certain souls to play, as I say, dominant roles. But it is also agreed for souls. Blossom always struggles with this a little, of darkness to come in and play particular roles to serve the light. There are many who feel that they know exactly what pathway they are on, and they walk in the light and the love, and yet they feel that they are not serving in any particular sense, that their role is very minuscule. My friends, as you know, if you took one drop of water out of the ocean, it would not be the complete ocean. If you took lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of drops of water out of the ocean, it would not be an ocean doing its thing. So for those who feel that they are not really contributing much, it is all right, we know that she had to go, that is fine. Those who feel they are not contributing as much as they would like, they are, by simply being here and serving to the best of their ability in joy, to whoever they meet, how many people do you meet in your lifetime? How many people do you pass in a day? Become more aware of who you are, and as you pass that stranger, not send your love. Make every moment of your day your purpose to be light. Do not let one moment escape where you can be your light. Everybody is here for a purpose. Everybody. Yet, we would say that there are, as in I'm showing to Blossom, perhaps one would look at it as a vast company. And you have those that are capable and are very happy to deliver the mail to the different levels. You have those that are more than happy to make the tea. That is how they give service. And it would be a tragedy if they were to leave because they make the best tea on the planet. But there are those, again, further up, who are the ones that perhaps have to work out how this is going to work and how do we do this and that. So it is that there are more, would I say, responsible roles and purposes, with all respect, that have been offered and accepted, depending too on whether it is suitable. It might be that the tea lady in another life was Joan of Arc. Yet this time she doesn't want all that, thank you very much. She just wants to make the tea. Do you see? It is what serves the soul, your individual soul, and what is all right for you that you have chosen. So always be happy with your lot because you have chosen, and if you are not happy with it, change it. There's nothing that cannot be changed if you are not happy with it. Nothing. Now that, Blossom is saying, there might be some people who cannot agree with that. What if I am saying to Blossom, or we are both saying, what if there is a soul that is upon the earth and perhaps has been in a bad accident and therefore can no longer move from head downwards? How can they change that? They cannot change perhaps their physicality, but they can change the world with their soul and their light and their love. And would that make them happy? Of course. This physicality is merely a vessel you have chosen. Is that all right for you? You are welcome. And another, don't all shout at once, I can't deal with it. I will wait patiently because I know there is more. Welcome. Blossom knows that well. Because you chose it. It is as simple as that. It is, Blossom has been through that many times, especially in the beginning of of why me, but it has become part of her. It is not, she does not think that way anymore. It is, what a blessing that it is me. Honored to be able to do so. So therefore, you know, if it was to be, with all respect, if it was you, you might go, why her, not me? It is because that agreement, I made this agreement with Blossom, as we say, many, many moons ago. And we have been together in other lifetimes. And we decided that this time this was the best way for my wisdom and knowledge to be shared. In the same way, with your guide, that would have been agreed. Now, in 10 years' time, you may be on a worldwide stage and have written 10 books. Or you may have a few people to your house on a regular basis to share your wisdom. Whatever has been decided, if it is still working for you, then that will show its opportunities to where you have decided to go. Blossom knows that at any given moment she can stop this, should she desire. Anybody can, because it is your choice as to whether it feels all right or not. So I would say to you, you say, why me? And I say, why not you? It is decreed, is the word that is coming through. So just go forth with confidence and see how it comes about. Yes, ready for it, because Blossom has never felt fearful. It was just accepting, and so there has one has the fear comes from the unknown, in a sense. And but I will say, and many are aware, and those who channel are aware, if the energy that comes through is not of service, you can feel it. You can feel it instantly, and it is you who are in control. At any given time, Blossom can cut me off, or anybody. She can cut off. She is the one in control, and you must always know that you are the one in control. And if the energies do not, if they're making you feel fearful, and even if you sit there and think, oh, is it just me feeling fearful, stop it that day and try another time. Never go into this with fear, because too many mischievous little pixies, shall we say, about. So always, I'd say, protect yourself and go in, entering it with love. And all is well. All is well with you. And we have one more question, perhaps. Yes, many thanks. Guidance on places to live. Blossom is becoming places to live. Is that a place to live? Blossom could do this without me, yeah. As you know, she has to move now. And it really is. Blossom is laughing because this is when we work together as so easily. That it really is a matter of trusting the universe. How can you say, it takes a long time to say, I'd like so many bedrooms, I'd like this, I'd like that. You tell the universe, you tell source energy, please find the perfect place for me, for my soul to reside in. And you might, Blossom is saying, uh-oh, because you might walk into a place and think, you are joking. This is not what I ordered at all. And yet, the love that you will put in that place because it needs it, and then the love that will return to you from it. And it is that thing of, but I only have a few weeks, except, whatever that time is, that is when your greatest trust must come through joy and excitement. That is what Blossom is doing. And also she's finding, which she is finding lovely on how much she has grown, in that she finds herself sitting in her house or in her garden and giving thanks, thanking that energy for serving her so well, knowing that there is another place ready to do the same, and it is there. It's already marked for you. You just have to fully trust. It will, you'll know, even as you walk towards it, before you go in the door, you will know, this is my next shelter upon earth. Many thanks. So many are having to, as we say, to move, and that is very exciting. Absolutely, it is your safe haven, but it is you changing the energy. If a place has not marvelous energy within it, you are being sent there. That's why it is perfect to change the energy within the very walls, within the blades of grass. If it has had abusive energy in there, you are going in to change it and bring it into its shiny little picket white fence. Little House on the Prairie, I believe it was. There's so much you can give to your house, and the more love you put into it, the more it feeds you back with kindness and so much, many things. Your entire being, the whole system works well when you have that. When you have that. Many things. And there was one here. That is all right. It is fine, my friend. It is fine. There can be so many reasons, but what I would say to you is that child, there are no accidents. It was not an accident. That child was to leave. Any child was to leave. And I'm sure Blossom did a reading for somebody elsewhere on the planet. And it came through that this lady, this soul, and Blossom knows it's all right to speak of this, at night time, she would go up to what I call the summer land, where souls go when they leave the earth. And it was her joy and her job to play with children. And Blossom saw her in this field with daisy chains, and she was in the center, and children were around her in a circle dancing. and very happy. Because some souls can be, even if they are children, like I spoke of the soul that may suffer all that time and then leave as an act of love, it does not mean that when they leave that some of the soul may have been damaged because of that experience, which they are willing to sacrifice to do. So that they go to this exquisite home where children play and where there are souls of earth who go there when they sleep or when they meditate. But there are also souls who have chosen that as they are no longer on earth, and they have chosen to be there to look after those little damaged souls, if you like, and repair them and get them back into fullness so that they then can become, free themselves from that particular energy that they were in. On another understanding, please accept with grace what I am to say. The tears that you feel, the pain, the sadness, the sorrow that is in your heart, with so much respect, I say to you this. You have chosen that. You may think I would never, ever choose this pain, but you asked for it on another level so that you may serve others by what you have gained through such torment. And through that you help so many. And it is not that that soul has gone and left you. How could that be? That was an agreement made. So the two of you will be doing great work in serving others together. Always will that soul be part of you. It cannot be any other way. So that is, please hear this correctly. I know you will not be insulted. It is, in a sense, cause. Blossom even finds it hard to say because it's not meant disrespectfully. It is cause for celebration, my friend, because it was an agreement you made and it has been fulfilled. And therefore it is time to move on into the reason why. When you are ready, you will say, I know. And I'm showing to Blossom as if your heart can feel sometimes like it is a stone in the bottom of a mud pile, sometimes with the of it, the heaviness of it. But it is purely time to say, right, I'm going in my heart, I'm picking up that stone, I am getting this hose, and I am flushing out that mud. And I am freeing myself from all that pain. It was there for a reason, without question. You asked for that pain. But you have had it, and now you can let it go. And you fill that place with flowers, and you let the sunshine pour in. And the more you do that, when you wake up, see your heart, get your watering can, water those flowers, and let the sun come. And you will see, my friend, that as you walk out in your day, you are feeling stronger. You are feeling lighter in all aspects
because you have allowed yourself to move on through and do what you know you have to do. Even if you do not know it, you will find that opportunities come to you where you speak and you think, I could not have helped that soul in that way if I had not experienced the depths of pain that I have. And that is when we talk of service. What we are all prepared to go through, my friends, to be of service, to get to where we need to go in order to shine. One would sometimes wonder why we chose that particular pathway. Were we, as Blossom says sometimes about when she does this, she says, was she having too many sherries with the vicar when she agreed to come in and do this sometimes? Sometimes the pathway you choose may feel very heavy and full of stumbling blocks, but you put them there. You put them there in your game of life in order to, when you come up to them, do you need to get a crane and get that tree out of the way? Do you need to pick that pebble up and throw it behind you? Do you need to climb over that wall, or do you need to bring that wall down brick by brick? Those stumbling blocks you put there to help you work yourself out. And then you find, after a long journey sometimes, that the only things in your way are flowers. Little animals that hop out of the way for you. And as you continue to walk, my friends, watch your pathway open up. Watch it open up and be filled with light that is there for you to walk deeper into. You can feel it taking place now because you are so much more in tune with it. You have rid yourselves of so much debris that you have collected along the way. Like that. I could never do that before. I have got good at that. Like that, you can get rid of past invasions. You do not, with all respect, have to go for 15 years of counseling. You can if that serves you, and I am certainly not knocking counselors because they have their place, very much so. But you can drop it. Just quickly before I go, I often speak of get yourself a suitcase. Put all that you do not want inside of it. Shut it, lock it. Put a label on it saying going nowhere. Visualize yourself at the station. The train comes in. Open the door, put your suitcase in it, shut the door, wave it goodbye. Done. Done. Instead of 10 years of counseling. Done. And it didn't cost you much at all.
Visualization is the most powerful tool you have. How many times have I said that? Over and over. Use it. Visualize little things like that to change things. It's so easy. It's so pleasurable. Enjoy it. I'm showing for, I don't know who this is for, maybe everybody, but I'm showing the blossom of a big boulder and a hammer. Get it out of your system. Visualize yourself smashing this boulder to pieces. Get all that angst, frustration. Get it out of your system by doing a visualization. That is the beauty of it. It is a reality for you. There is no difference. Dear souls, be proud of who you are. Give honor to yourself, and therefore all. Know deep within your being that the changes you have come here to make happen slowly but surely are taking place through your assistance, through your service. More and more you see the light shine out of each other's eyes and connect with each other's hearts. No words need be spoken, but there is acknowledgement between each soul, a knowing, yes, I know why you are here. You know why I am here. And as one, we lift Gaia into her rightful position once again. To each one, my heart swells with light and love and joy to be in your presence, because it is you that give me the opportunity to come and speak. Many, many thanks. We give thanks to the Divine Oneness for allowing this meeting to take place. We ask always that we may remain humble in order to serve and to receive, and that we may continue to walk boldly as the light and the love. Adieu, my friends.
And I just ask you to visualize now an open flower in the top of your head. And just watch it close down into a tight bud. And draw it through your body. So that we may always be protected to walk safely ever onwards. In the light and the love. In love and thanks. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today and sharing your love. It's such a lovely energy in the room today. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm hoping there will be a meeting the next first Sunday of July. Could be moving into my new house that weekend. Who knows? For those, I always say on my newsletter when the next one's coming up. If you go to my website, which is blossomgoodchild.com, can I just tell you a quick story? I did what do they call a podcast thing the other week with some people in America, online interview thing. And there were people sort of waiting to sort of ask me the questions, but the lady who actually ran that actual blog talk radio thing, so she was talking away in her lovely American accent, and I'm in my little room at home with my cans on me, with the microphone and everything, and she's saying, so welcome everybody, la la la, you know, it's a lovely day, and we are so honored today to have with us Blossom Goldblum. Chair. I was sitting there with my cans on, and I was like, I just thought it was the funniest thing, and then she went, and her information can be found at, and I thought, don't. www.blossomgoldbloom.com. It's just because, anyway, when somebody then asked me a question, I said before we start, could I just say my name's actually Blossom Goodchild? And the woman popped in on home. I went, I'm so sorry, Blossom. I was like, that's okay. You can just sign up for my newsletter if you go to my website. And then also you made known of, aware of the channelings that I do with the Federation of Light, sort of every weekly-ish, every 10 days you can read those and any news that I might have. And then I will definitely be telling you when the next meeting will be. Hopefully it will be first Sunday in July, but maybe not till, who knows? Look what I said last time, and here we are 4 months, 3 years later I might see you. So again, thank you very much for coming. I've really enjoyed it today. Thank you very much indeed.